Hello, this is Joe, MTL Vintage Cards, and welcome to another game in the 1959 Major League Baseball replay. This is a replay using PC Replay Baseball as the front end to capture stats and show you the play-by-play. And off camera, I will be rolling the dice and using the results from Inside Pitch Baseball. Today's game will feature the Chicago Cubs visiting Busch Stadium to face the St. Louis Cardinals. Before we get to the game, here are the rest of the games that are on slate for Thursday, May 7, 1959. Let's look at some statistics. So the standings: the Red Sox in the American League enjoy a 2-game lead over the Baltimore Orioles. Trailing the pack are the Kansas City Athletics and the Washington Senators. In the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates enjoy a half-game lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers. The hottest team so far, currently, are the Cincinnati Reds that are winners of 6 in a row. Let's look at some team stats. I really am enjoying this. So if we look at the team batting, and we see we're able to sort it any way we like. So in terms of batting average, the Pittsburgh Pirates have a .293 team batting average, and they lead. They're the first in the majors, and the Baltimore Orioles are the last. For the team pitching, the Boston Red Sox have a team ERA of 2.63, all the way down to the Washington Senators at 4.82 and the Philadelphia Phillies at 5.30. You can freeze frame and you can look at all the different stats here as you like. And there's even a fielding calculation. So the best fielding team so far are the Cleveland Indians, and all the way at the bottom are the Washington Senators. So for the Senators, when you're last in fielding, near the bottom in hitting, and near the bottom in pitching, you know why you're 7-16. So if we go back to the schedule, and let's go back to the game and look at today's starting lineups. For the visiting Chicago Cubs, managed by Bob Sheffing, it'll be Johnny Gorel leading off at second. Jim Marshall will play first. Lee Walls will be in right. Ernie Banks will be the cleanup hitter playing shortstop. George Altman in center field. Walt Morin will play left field batting sixth. Alvin Dark will be at third batting seventh. Sammy Taylor batting eighth, doing the catcher. And the pitcher is Mo Drabowski. For Solly Jimenez's St. Louis Cardinals, Don Blasingame will lead off play second base. Gino Simoli bats second, playing center. Stan Musial will be at first. Ken Boyer, cleanup hitter, third base. Bill White, among the league's leading hitters in the National League, he'll bat fifth and play left. Bobby Smith will be in right. Hal Smith batting seventh and doing the catching. Eighth place hitter is Alex Grammas at short, and the pitcher is Lindy McDaniel. This is Lindy McDaniel's 9th game. It's a combination of starting and relieving. He has a 2-2 record with a 3.44 ERA. The leadoff hitter is Johnny Gorel, so far batting .208 with no home runs and 1 RBI. And right away, Gorel will hit a fly ball right. Bobby Smith is under it, and that's out number 1. Batting second is Jim Marshall. Jim Marshall, 063, just 2 hits and 32 at-bats. And Marshall will hit a single past Alex Grammas into left field. One out and one on for Lee Walls. Lee Walls is hitting .313 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. And Walls will hit a fly ball to Gino Cimoli in center. Comes in a few steps, and that's out number 2. Ernie Banks, .323 average, 9 home runs, 16 RBIs. League leading hitter in home runs. No, he's second to Pittsburgh. He's second in leading. He's the second in home runs is Banks. And Banks will single left to Bill White. Stopping at second is Jim Marshall. 2 out, 2 on for George Altman. Altman is batting .214 on the season with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. No lead, nothing going on. And Altman, strike 3, he's out. The Cubs threaten but do not score. On the mound is Mo Drabowski, his 7th game. He has a 2-2 record and a 3.86 ERA. He'll face Don Blasingame. Blasingame is hitting .287, no home runs and 4 RBIs. And Blasingame hits a ball of Goral, picks it up, shoots it over to first for out number 1. Gino Cimoli steps up. Cimoli batting .314 with no home runs and 9 RBIs. And Cimoli smacks the ball deep into left. And that ball is up, and out of here. A home run for Gino Cimoli. That's his first home run of the season. And the Cards jump out in front 1-0. Stan Musial is batting .226 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. And Musial will hit the ball to George Altman in center. He is ranging and makes the play for out number 2. Ken Boyer, the cleanup hitter, is up. Boyer is hitting .274 with 7 home runs and 10 RBIs. And Boyer strikes out to end the inning. Cardinals are enjoying an early 1-0 lead as we head into the top of the 2nd inning for Walt Morin, who's hitting .241 with 4 home runs and 14 RBIs? 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. And Morin will hit the ball to short. Gramis picks it up and throws it to first for out number 1. Alvin Dark is the next hitter. Dark is batting .269 with no home runs and 5 RBIs. And in case you're wondering, here are his real-life stats. And the pitch to Dark, and Dark strikes out. That's out number 2. McDaniel rings him up. Brings up Sammy Taylor, steps in the box, knocks the dirt out of his cleats. He's batting .250 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. And Taylor will hit the ball over the head of McDaniel into center field for a 2-out single. So McDaniel is up, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Mo Drabowski. Drabowski is enjoying a good early start, 3 for 9 on the season. And Drabowski will double past Boyer into the corner. Rounding second over to third is Sammy Taylor. He is being waved. He is going. The throw, the play at the plate. He is safe. And over to third goes Mo Drabowski. So, double, he'll score, and he'll be safe at third. So that was a clutch 2-out double for the pitcher, Mo Drabowski, of all people. And the game is tied with 2 out. Johnny Gorel, top of the order, steps up. And Gorel will hit the ball to Grammis for out number 3. The Cubs tie the game as we head to the bottom of the second inning for Bill White. And White on the season, hotter than a firecracker, batting .353 with 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. And White hits the ball to Marshall. Marshall picks it up, flips it to Drabowski covering for out number 1. Bobby Smith, batting .219, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. And Smith will hit a lazy fly ball to left. Morin is under it, and that's out number 2. Catcher Hal Smith is the next batter. And Smith will hit a ball past Gorel into the right field. Lee Walls picks it up, fires it into the infield. 2-out single for Hal Smith, which brings up the shortstop Alex Grammis for the Cardinals. Grammis is hitting .242 with no home runs and 6 RBIs. And Grammis will hit the ball to right. Lee Walls is under it. Easy play for out number 3. Top of the third, we are knotted at 1 for Jim Marshall. Jim Marshall steps up, and Jim Marshall hits a fly ball to right, not too deep. Bobby Smith is there, and that's out number 1 for Lee Walls. And Walls will hit the ball into the gap. Splits it between Bill White and Gino Cimoli. Cimoli picks it up, fires it to the cutoff man Alex Grammis, and trotting into second is Lee Walls for a 1-out double, which brings up Ernie Banks. And Banks, swing and a miss, strike 3. Big out for McDaniel. So 2 out with a runner in scoring position for George Altman. And Altman will hit the ball to first. Musial, tough play, and that gets by him. And that rattles into the corner for a 2-out double. That scores Lee Walls, and George Altman stands up at second, and the Cubs are up 2-1 for Walt Morin. And Morin, .238. And Morin hits it to Blasingame, and Blasingame ranges, dives, gets it from his knees, throws it over to first for out number 3. Not before the Cubs score a go-ahead run on a 2-out double. Lindy McDaniel, the pitcher, steps up, and McDaniel on the season is 0 for 9. And McDaniel lines it to Gorel for out number 1. It was not really a line drive, it was more like a dying quail. So 1 out, top of the order we go for Don Blasingame. And Blasingame, caught looking, hit the outside corner, strike 3. Quickly, there are 2 out. And Gino Cimoli, Cardinals center fielder, and Cimoli draws a walk. 2-out walk, Cimoli, that brings up Musial, and Cimoli can't get the lead, and Musial will pop it up in the infield, sky high. Gorel's calling for it. He puts the squeeze on it for out number 3. To the top of the 4th, the Cubs enjoy a 2-1 lead. Alvin Dark is the hitter, and Dark will hit the ball to center. Cimoli's got it in a few steps for out number 1. And you see these games, they move really fast. I try to keep the game moving along. Historically, they've lasted 35 minutes or so for a 9-inning game. And even if they go extra innings, I think my first game was a 13 or 14 inning. Check that one out, and that one lasted like 55 minutes. I won't give any spoilers of other games. So if you're interested in this format and in this channel, please do subscribe and watch the games in order. I will never spoil any results, and I will never show the results of any of the previous games. Sammy Taylor. And Taylor hits the ball, strokes it past Grammas into left field for a 1-out single. And I believe that was Taylor's second hit of the game. And indeed, yes, Sammy Taylor is 2 for 2. And another great thing is if you're interested in the play-by-play stuff, here is all the play-by-play. It's really well done. I can't stop raving about this game. Okay, pitchers up, 1 out and 1 on, and Drobowski will be asked to bunt. And Drobowski will... Oh, what kind of a bunt was that? And Drobowski hits the ball way too hard to Ken Boyer, who fires it to Alex Grammas, covering second, over to Wade Blasingame for an inning-ending double play. So here is how we score it. Ground ball to Boyer, to Grammas covering, out. And you see how it double play, third, and here's an assist, and Boyer will get an assist, Grammas will get an assist, and the second baseman will get the put out. So really fun way to score a game as well, and very detailed. So that leaves the Cubs scoreless on a failed sacrifice attempt by Mo Drobowski. Bottom of the fourth for Ken Boyer. And Boyer will make an automatic out somewhere, and that'll be a fly ball to right field. Lee Walls ranging to his left for out number 1. Bill White is the next hitter, and White hits the ball. That ball is going deep, and that ball is up, and out of here for Bill White's 6th home run of the season. And that ties the game at 2. And Bobby Smith is up. And that ball, it caught the inside corner. He's caught looking. Out number 2 for the catcher, Hal Smith. And Smith hits the ball to right field. Not too deep. Fine running catch by Lee Walls to end the inning. The Cardinals tie the game as we head into the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the top of the order, Gorel, Marshall, and Lee Walls facing Lindy McDaniel. Tough chance for the shortstop, Alex Grammas. He can't get it. It goes by him for a single. Leadoff single for Johnny Gorel. And Gorel gets the lead. So Gorel has a 1 to 14, so a 70% chance to steal second. He'll be sent, and he makes it. Stolen base for Johnny Gorel. Let's see. No, he doesn't get the lead this time around. Jim Marshall. Let's see if Marshall can have a productive at-bat. And Marshall hits the ball to left field. Single, drops in front of Bill White. Rounding second. And in to score is Johnny Gorel. And just like that, the Cubs reclaim the lead. It is now 3-2. Chicago Cubs. What a game. I've had all great games so far. I've yet to show a blowout game. I've had some my share of blowout games off camera, but none of them are boring, even if they're blowout games. It's a very entertaining format. So Jim Marshall is on. No lead for Marshall, and it brings up Lee Walls. And Walls strikes out for out number 1. So Lindy McDaniel, his limit before fatigue is 25 batters, and McDaniel is at 21. This will probably be his last inning of pitching, and Banks will be called up to bat, and Banks hits a fly ball to right field. Easy play for Bobby Smith, and that's out number 2. No lead for Marshall, and Altman is up. And Altman singles past first, rounding second over the third is Jim Marshall. There are runners at the corners, 2 out for Walt Morin. And Morin will, hit the ball deep to center. Back against the fence is Simoli, and he makes the play for out number 3. The Cubs reclaim the lead. To the bottom of the 5th we go. It'll be Gramis, pinch hitter, and the top of the order. And Gramis will hit the ball to dark. Fires it over to first for out number 1. McDaniel will be called back to the bench with his team down 3-2. And the Cardinals will ask George Crowe to pinch hit. So the left-handed batter, so far this year, is batting a sweet 500. 9 home runs and 18 at-bats, with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. But not this time. Crowe will hit it to Banks. Banks picks it up on a high hop, throws it to first for out number 2. With Don Blasingame. And Blasingame, this will be a chance for the center fielder, Altman, running and makes a fine catch. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. To the top of the 6th. Cubs are enjoying a 3-2 lead. And the Cardinals will ask, you see there are pitchers here in red that generally they're unavailable. But if I need them in later innings, and they are pressed into service, they'll automatically be deemed as tired. However, looks like several pitchers are not available this game, so our pickings are kind of slim. We're gonna press we're gonna press Gary Blaylock into service here. Let's see how far Blaylock could go. On the season, this is Blaylock's 9th game. He has a 1-2 record with a 4.30 ERA, and he'll face Alvin Dark. And Blaylock will pitch it to Dark. Dark hits a smash right back at the box. No problem for Blaylock. Picks it up and fires it to first for out number 1. And Sammy Taylor steps up, and Taylor, the 8th place hitting catcher, ground ball to Gramis, over to first, and that's out number 2. And Mo Drabowski. That's ball 1 to Drabowski. That's ball 2 to Drabowski. And another hit for Drabowski. Singles past Boyer. Rushing in to get it is Bill White. And Drabowski gets another hit, his 2nd hit of the game. And Gorel is up, and Gorel hits the ball to Boyer. Over to first. Over to second, I mean. Wait a second. No, that was a wrong one. Forgive me. I actually rolled a 6. So Boyer's only play is at first. Over to second. Oh, there were 2 out. My mistake. I had to follow the game. So let's say I would have made a mistake on that. You just hit this erase button right here, and you're back here. I should have paid more attention that there were 2 out. So in reality, the way I would have scored it is 5-4, but it doesn't matter. We'll keep the same play. Okay, bottom of the 6th, with the Cubs still up 3-2 for Gino Cimoli. That's ball 1 to Cimoli. And a single through the wickets of Drabowski. Leadoff single for Cimoli. For Stan Musial. Now, Drabowski is faced 20 batters. He is in great shape. He is good for 25. And Musial slaps it over to Marshall. Over to Ernie Banks for 1. And back to Marshall for 2 for a very difficult and nifty 3-6-3 double play. Big out, and Drabowski very appreciative of the fielding of his team, which brings up Ken Boyer with 2 out. And Boyer strikes out, swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. Gary Blaylock in his second inning of work. And Blaylock will hit it to Musial. He can't get it. He was playing far too deep, and the ball was hit too slowly, and Marshall is on an infield single. For Lee Walls. And Walls gets hit by Blaylock. So the Cubs have something going, and it's not getting any easier for Blaylock with Ernie Banks stepping up. And Banks will hit the ball to Blasingame. Blasingame fires it over to Grammis. Snifty pivot over to Musial for a double play, a 4-6-3 double play. And Marshall heads over to third with 2 out. Let's see if the Cardinals could get out of this inning unscathed. And no, because that ball is hit sharply into the gap. Cutting it off is Bill Smith, holding Altman to a single, and it is 4-2 for the Cubs. For Walt Morin. And Morin hits the ball to right. Bobby Smith has it. And that's out number 3. To the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Bill White, who hit a solo shot. Bobby Smith and Hal Smith facing Mo Drabowski. Now, Drabowski, I think he faced 23 batters. 22. And that'll be a high fly ball to George Altman. He's camping under it, and that's out number 1. Bobby Smith is the batter, and Smith, that'll be an automatic out somewhere to Alvin Dark. Alvin Dark picks it up and fires it across the diamond for out number 2. Hal Smith is the next batter, and Smith he singles little dribbler down the third base line, and Dark was playing way back with 2 out. He can't get to it, and that's an infield single. Hal Smith, infield single. Yes. For Alex Grammis with 2 out, and Drabowski is officially tired, and that's a single for Grammis. Over to third goes Hal Smith. Runners at the corners and Blaylock will be called back to the bench. And a pinch hitter will be coming up, and the pinch hitter will be Joe Cunningham. Joe Cunningham is the pinch hitter. Now, you'll see if we go back to the box score, Drabowski has faced 26 batters, so he is officially tired. And Drabowski will bat third this inning, so this is a good time to show you how we do a double switch. Because we'll bring in, Morin made the last out of the inning, and we'll bring in an outfielder to bat in Drabowski's spot, and the new pitcher will bat in Morin's spot. So here's how we do the double switch. We make a substitution. So we'll put Bobby Thompson. He'll play left field, but he'll bat in Drabowski's spot. So Bobby Thompson will play left, and he'll bat in Drabowski's spot, and then we'll bring in a pitcher. We'll click on the bullpen tab, and we'll put in a pitcher, and we'll bring in, with left-handed, we'll bring in Bill Henry, since we have a bunch of left-handed batters coming up. And Bill Henry will go in Walt Morin's spot, and you see it's alerting us that we need a left fielder, and that'll be Bobby Thompson in left, and we confirm. So Bill Henry comes in, and that's how you do the double switch. Very easy. So on the season, this is Bill Henry's 14th game. He's been busy. He has an 0-1 record, 2 saves, and a 5.40 ERA, and he'll face Joe Cunningham. Cunningham on the season is hitting .267, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and you saw that he hit .345 in real life. The pitch to Henry, and that's a single past third into the corner, and that'll be a single. Gramis goes over to third, and it's a 4-3 game. Clutch pinch hit for Cunningham. And again, Bill Henry's troubles continue. First and third for Blasingame. And Blasingame will hit the ball to Marshall. Marshall picks it up, takes it to the bag himself for out number 3. But not before the Cardinals come within a run of the Cubs. To the 8th we go with a slimmest of leads, 4-3 for the Cubs. We need a pitcher, and it's not a lot left. We don't have cards for these two guys here. They only pitched 8 and 7 innings, nor for Grissom, who's pitched 2 innings. So our choices, I want to stay within the spirit of the game and bullpen availability, and we're forced to use Howie Nunn. And Nunn on the season, well, look at that. This is his 7th game. He has a 2.70 ERA, when in real life a 7.59. All right, let's see what happens with Alvin Dark stepping up. And Dark promptly hits a single into center field. Leadoff hitter for Sammy Taylor. And Taylor will hit a ball deep to left over the head of Bill White, and that ball is up, and out of here. And Sammy Taylor's 2-run homer puts some daylight between the Cubs and the Cardinals. It is now 6-3. Tough play for Howie Nunn. He left them a meatball. Bobby Thompson enters the game. He's batting .320 with 1 home run and 9 RBIs. And Bobby Thompson will hit the ball into the gap between White and Samoli. Samoli picks it up, and it's a stand-up double for Bobby Thompson. Oh boy. The problems persist. Johnny Gorel steps up, and Gorel hits the fly ball to Bill White. Not too deep and left. White has it, and that's out number one. Holding at second is Bobby Thompson. Jim Marshall is the next hitter, and Marshall hits a ball way, way deep, way out of here, and it's up, up, and out of here, and Marshall hits his first home run of the year, and it's 8-3, and Howie Nunn is being yanked out of there. So Nunn is yanked out of there, and no choice, but like I don't know, I can't remember the rules if these pitchers with anyways, this is my house rule because these pitchers are tired and in general should not be available, and therefore to me they will come in the game as if they were tired. So it'll be Ernie Broglio. Broglio, this is his 8th game. He has an 0-2 record with a 3.15 ERA. So Broglio had 25 starts and 10 relief appearances in 1959. He'll face Lee Walls. And Broglio will hit the ball to short. Gramis throws it over to first for out number one. The next is Ernie Banks. And Banks hits it to Musial. And Musial boots it. The problems continue. Oops, that should have been an E3, so I'll erase that. E3. So a 2-out error for Ernie Banks. And brings up George Altman. And Altman strikes out for the 3rd out of the inning. And thankfully, the inning ends. Not before the Cubs put up a 4 spot as we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Cardinals trailing 8-3. For Gino Samoli, the 2nd place hitter, and Samoli grounds it to Dark over to first, and that's out number one. For Stan Musial, and Musial will pop it up sky high into foul territory, drifts Marshall, and that's out number two. For Ken Boyer, and Boyer, you'll make an out somewhere, and that'll be a ground ball to Ernie Banks. Throws it over to first. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning. And let's see if the Cubs will leave Bill Henry in. Now, Henry has faced 5 batters. He's good for 8. Yes, they'll leave Bill Henry in to bat for himself. So we'll need to take a generic pitching card. One moment while I find it. There it is. And Broglio, that'll be a fly ball to Bobby Smith. In right for out number one. For Hal Smith. Not Hal Smith, Alvin Dark, I'm sorry. And Alvin Dark, singles. More hitting. That's the 18th hit for the Chicago Cubs. And that's Sammy Taylor is the next hitter. And Taylor hits it to Blasingame. And Blasingame can't get it. It's an infield single. 19 hits on the game, and the hitting clinic continues with Bobby Thompson. That's his 2nd time up at bat, and Thompson will hit the ball to short over to Blasingame for 1, over to Musial for 2 for an ending 6-4-3 double play. Last licks for the Cardinals, which will bring up Bill White. And White strikes out for out number 1. Bobby Smith will be called back to the bench for a pinch hitter, and the pinch hitter will be none other than Curt Flood. Flood on the season is batting .300. He has 9 hits and 30 at-bats. And Flood hits it over to Dark. Dark ranges. Nice play. Over to first. And that's out number 2. Last man up. Last chance for the Cardinals. It's Hal Smith. And Smith hits it to Dark again. Dark picks it up. And he can't make the play. He throws it into the dirt. And that's an error on Al Dark. With 2 out, 1 on for Alex Grammas. And Grammas will walk. And I believe that's Bill Henry, his 9th batter. He is tired. Ernie Broglio will be pinch hit for. And Ray Jablonski will be asked to bat. Or will Solly Hemus bats left. He won't ask himself since he is the manager. So it'll be Ray Jablonski coming in to pinch hit. The Cubs played a game. They don't want this game to get out of hand. They'll bring in Elmer Singleton. Elmer Singleton, this is his 5th game. He's pitched 8 innings and he's given up no earned runs, or any runs for that matter. And Singleton that'll be a ground ball to third. Alvin Dark goes a short way to Johnny Gorel covering at second. Game over. The Cubs beat the Cardinals by a score of 8-3. The winning pitcher is Mo Drabowski. His record goes to 3-2. The loser is Lindy McDaniel. His record goes to 2-3. The Cubs improved 11-13, and the Cardinals are now 11-14. Let's look at the box score, shall we? So here is the box score. I'll let you look at it. You want to freeze it, go ahead. So you could see the putouts, the assists, batting, and here you can see who got the home runs, if there were any stolen bases, what the teams did with runners in scoring position. So here's the line score: 8 runs, 19 hits, 1 error. And the Cubs left 10 on base. This could have been an 18-3 game for all we know. And the Cardinals, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and they left 6 on base. Here are the fielding statistics. There was 1 stolen base in the game. That was Johnny Gorel. And here are the pitchers. Drabowski went 6 2/3. McDaniel went 5. And more statistics. So there you have it. I want to thank you for watching this game, and I hope to see you soon.